Oh, the future is here. Come on, guys. How are you today?
Hi.
Aw. Wait, we have to dance first. Where are your dance steps? The future is here. We want you guys to dance with us from your home, wherever you are. Come on. The future is here. How can they say that we're finished? We're just starting. What are you talking about? Huh? I see you, Oluwakemi, Temitayo, for me. I am the nation. I am part of this. This is the Future-Forward Female Nation. Woo! Is this awesome or what? I am part of this. Oh, how are you doing today? The future is here. Lady Bodam, I just your dance steps. I just want to know. I'm just kind of looking, it's a very queenly dance step. The future is here.
The future.
The song is very calm, So I'm just
Yes.
if you had given us like the one that we're gonna go like this,
Yeah,
She'll be ready for you.
ready for you.
Woo! So this is our time. This is our time. If you don't know this song, it's by T.Y. Bello, and we will give her a shout out when we say this. By T.Y. Bello, it's called The Future. The future is here. The Future-Forward Female Folio is absolutely where? Here. It's amazing. Oh, awesome. And I have you all here for a reason. Oh, look, they're loving on you in the comments section, admiring you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Future Forward Females.
Fixing the crown.
Yeah.
The Future Forward Female Movement. It's a global conscious collective of women, visionary women of African descent, and Bodam is very well representing that today, as you can see, who transform the world, who are transforming. This is a present continuous tense, right? The world through the power of a compelling vision, collaboration, and legacy leadership. Y'all give yourself a big hand. Wherever you are, in your house, wherever you are a future-forward female. Give yourselves a big hand. And we're here today for the unveiling of the folio. Ooh, y'all have been waiting for this folio. We've been taking our time. And there's this thing called a slow boil. I used to always wonder, what are they talking about? They're cooking soup for 12 hours. Did that thing never amaze you guys?
It did. The slow cookers, yes.
Or they cook a piece of pork. Who doesn't know pork cooks so fast? But they cook it slow boil 12 hours. There's a reason.
That's right.
Yeah? There's
so
a
when
reason.
it comes out.
Okay, now.
All right. So you are wondering who this is because you saw the gorgeous DDK on the flyer. You're like, give me my DDK. She's coming right up, but first of all, this is our project team, the core project team, and these are the interviewers, people who interview your stellar 12 women who graced the 2021 folio, Future Forward Female Folio. And I just wanted to get some thoughts from them before we start, before we bring DDK up and we can start taking you guys your questions. Anyway, put in the chat, go ahead and put in there, I am a future forward female, because today's your day. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'm a future forward female. How's it been being a part of this project, ladies?
Lady B, do you want to start off?
Okay. It has been awesome. It's been enlightening. It's been humbling. It's just been so good. I have loved every single moment of the sleepless nights, of the worries, of the
We just came out like this.
yeah,
Keeping it real.
It was so good.
All right, Iron Fair.
Wow. I mean, I think I've never been a part of something like this, and I've
Mm,
worked on a variety of projects. But there was something very special about this folio, and
mm.
I believe when people begin to see it and experience it, they will understand what we're saying. Um, but it was such a growing process for me. It was also one that really made me realize that this is a decade that can't be played with.
Hey,
One thing that came out so clearly as we worked on it day after day, I was like, there's something for sure about this
about
decade
this.
that every single female cannot be sleeping on. So, yeah.
You just didn't add the bicycle, right? But yeah, you can't be sleeping.
No, no, they're not on bicycles, they're in
No,
cars.
okay.
I love it. Yes.
So let me ask you, Bodam, first of all, thank you for joining us on this project team. We shouldn't have had you on. We are super blessed to have you on because you are. I'm just giving you guys sneak peek. Well, you've seen some of it. You are one of our honorees, but you were gracious enough to join us on here to help the other honorees shine even brighter with your magical touch. You know how you are with your words, with this picture. The quality is not up to par, the language, and all those things. What is one common thread you kind of see through you guys, through all of no guys here, I'm sorry, through you ladies? What is that common thread you saw when you were going through the interviews and all? What is that common thread you saw through all the?
Every, so I think the common thing I saw was that every woman had to get over themselves. You know, we all
Mhm.
had a journey that we were going on. And that's something that you'd see in every single woman. You know, their journey sort of birthed their purpose.
Mhm.
Everything they went through just set them up for what was ahead. And that was something that stood out for me so strongly across all the ladies. They needed to get over their own personal past and pain and whatever it was so they could be birthed into the new and really step into the women they were created to be.
All right, go right ahead, I am fair.
Wow, but I mean, I want to say you stole what I wanted to say, but it's okay. But I think one thing that also kind of came across with all of them is that they didn't just happen on significance. It's not just something that happened by happenstance. You could really see. I loved hearing and seeing their principles, and really seeing that there was just so much intentionality. Once they got that vision, you could see the intentionality with how they started building. And I think that's why you could see the difference between what they've been able to do and what they are doing and how they're blessing their world and the generations coming. It's because they were so intentional. They didn't just say, oh, it's just going to happen one day, this will happen. I loved really just seeing the principles they lived by, and I was like, okay, I can see why there's a difference between this caliber of women and other women. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's remarkable that you say that because there truly is. The difference is not much. It's just that one person put their hand up, right?
Mm.
One person
Mm,
put their hand up. There's the select and there's the elect. At some point, even after they elect you, you have to select yourself and say, hey, I'm in the number. I truly love that. And Ayonfe, let me add this on to you as well. And one
Okay.
more person that's going to be joining us soon is Ugonne and as soon as she's able to join us here shortly. But Ugone joined us as well. She was one of our interviewers. And this is how we were. We're interviewing people, and it's like, don't stop, keep going. Your wisdom, wisdom, don't leave me. We're like, what's going on here? So, one of the key questions we asked them, and I'm going to pose this question to you, Ayonfe, is we asked them at the end of the interview, what audacious goal do you have by 2020 for the continent? Come and see rushing,
Three
rushing,
goals.
rushing, rushing. We're like, okay, let's just go and sleep. They have saved the continent. It's
Hmm.
gone. All right.
Yes, I think for me, which one stood out? I honestly, I feel like all of them were unique and distinct. And I think that's one thing I want women to also just realize as they read these stories and experience them, that your goal is not more, it's not that it's bigger or smaller than the other person's own. You just have to own it. And so all the audacious goals, even though I was like, my goodness, first of all, how did that idea even enter into your mind? So I feel you have to be there's a kind of woman that begins to dream and see like that. And that's the first thing I think that kind of stood out as he began to speak about the audacious goals. But then the other thing I realized is that none of them was better than the other one. It's just that all of them were unique and distinct to the path that was cut out for them. And so it wasn't like they were trying to create or copy a goal they had heard from somewhere. You could just see, like, I've never heard this. This is just Bodam. This is just Bumi. So I think that was what made it not just audacious, but also very authentic.
I love that. All so different. In fact, there were two that seemed like, in quote, right? You would say they were called to family and marriage and women, but they were so distinctly different. And when you read about them, you will be telling me more. Okay. All right. Take note of these questions because I want you to answer these questions on your own pages when we have finished unveiling. Because today you're going to lay your hands on what?
The folio.
Oh my gosh. Woo! I love it. All right. So let me ask you, Bodam, you spoke with a couple of our interviewers, which is fascinating. I don't even know how you did it. What does this folio mean to you? Because it's one thing to be an honoree. You could have stayed at home, you're an honoree, you come out all decked out in your outfit and you receive your award and you go home. But you put your hand to the plow and became a part of this. Why? What does this folio mean to you personally? And what do you think it would mean to others when they lay their hands on it?
I think it's a couple of things for me. The first reason being, a lot of people think, you see women who get awarded, right? And it's like, I can never be this kind of person. Like, this person is so far ahead of me, and this person, just is so unattainable and so untouchable. That can never be me because I have a past and I have I don't know what, and I've gone through this and I've gone through that. And this was so important to me because it showed you can be that person. It's not that difficult if you put your hand to the plow and get the work done. And for me, beyond being an honoree, it was just the thing of putting my faith behind what I really believed in. And I believe this is something that would liberate a lot of women. It's something that will show women that everybody has a part to play in the liberation of our world, in your own space. And I'm not going to get on my soapbox now, but in your own space, right? You have your own thing that is uniquely yours that you need to do that will be brilliant because it's what is on the inside of you. And that's what this means to me. It's very personal. When I was looking at the final thing, I got a little emotional, and I think I was telling you ladies as well, just reading the things because it showed me the power of possibility. I am here because I was able to see the possibility that the women who went ahead of me could show me. Women who were not that far ahead of me in age, they were like my contemporaries, but I could see the things that they were doing, and they were able to break down to me the wisdom and the path that they took. And that's what this folio represents to me. It represents possibilities. If we could do it, we're just 12, anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. This is phenomenal. Thank you for mentioning that. Hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful.
Hi. Hi, so good to be here. See your lovely faces.
Yeah. So those four, remember I mentioned Ogone to you that we were the four that interviewed the 12 phenomenal women and tried to capture for you all the essence of their stories, the authenticity. We didn't say, okay, just tell us the glory part. No, we got the story for you. Ogone, without further ado, let me ask you, what is one lesson that you would say you got from and when I say one, maybe 1.5 lessons you got from, because there's so many. And something interesting is
Yeah.
that you get the same lesson sometimes from 5 of them, and you start to see
Mm.
why women like these are distinct. So tell me, Gone, why? What is one lesson you got?
Okay, for me, I would say that it was just seeing what is possible. Like this folio and all the women that were interviewed just really painted a picture of the fact that, see, we really don't all have to be like, you know, Beyonce or the people that we see out there. We really don't all have to, because I remember growing up, I struggled with like my self identity a little bit because I didn't see a picture of this kind of women that I or someone that I wanted to be. And these women just really painted a picture of possibilities for me. And I'm looking at like my younger self. I'm thinking about her and saying, see, I didn't have to be a Genevieve or Motola. I can be a Tolu Michael. I can be Bodam Taiwo. Like these pictures are just, it's just beautiful, and I'm really inspired to like just be a part of this team and seeing this thing come to life. It's just amazing. I thank Didike and every one of you guys for all the work that was done, honestly.
Oh, so beautiful. Wasn't that so vivid? Look at you. I
Yes,
love it. I love it because, many people at some point they would feel like, okay, I need to either be a pastor or I need to be the captain of this
exactly.
industry. There was no middle ground, right? There was no middle ground, if you like. Let me come back to you again. Who did I end last with? Ion Fair. So we asked the honorees to tell us some of their book recommendations. If you go through it, you will feel like you're getting a whole library. I'm telling you. And the passion
Exactly.
with which they used to explain, I'm like, wow, something's happening here. All right. So Ayonfe, tell me, what is one book recommendation they made? And don't worry, you'll see it in the folio. So this is not just
Yeah.
exclusive information. So Ayonfe, tell me, what is one of those books that you loved that they recommended and why?
Oh my goodness. Well, we were just spoiled with options and variety, and I'm like, how am I going to get all these books? But then one book that I mean, I would say the first book, because of course, when you hear a lot of recommendations, the one that made me act, I definitely got Boundaries. Well, first of all, I know that might also
Mm.
be because um, of all the boundaries conversations I've been having with you, Brandon. But then hearing the impact it had on our Olori, I was just like, I need this book.
Mm.
I just have to read this book and see what this book is about. And I'm telling you, it is something. It is something. And I think that's another thing that I realized as I listened and just kind of read through the different things they said, that some of the principles that you're going to see that they talk about were found in books. So that's one thing that this decade we can also be sleeping on. We have to read. We just have to
Exactly.
read. I'm telling you.
Leaders are readers, right? Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this the book she spoke about is by Henry Cloud and John
Yeah.
Townsend. Boundaries. How did they say? But yeah, the main title is
Title is
Boundaries, and
Boundaries.
it's
Yes.
phenomenal. I mean, she gave it a glowing recommendation, and you can see why it prepared her for her
Yes. I was
journey.
just like,
Yeah.
don't say
What?
no more.
Yeah. What about you, Godam Taiwo?
Oh my goodness. Like Ayanfa said, there are so many amazing books. But I think, also it depends on where you are in your journey. So
Mm,
if you're a woman
Mm.
that is just starting to try
Mm.
and find herself and starting to try and understand or starting to even try and see, I would say Believe Bigger is a great place to start.
Mm.
Yeah. Obviously, it was one
Wow.
of my personal
I,
favorites,
I love
but
it.
start, yes.
I love it. What about you, Go Nick?
I was just about to say believe bigger because
But then you're taking it.
I'm telling you. But then another book that really stood out, I think it was Joyce Awoshika that recommended it, was Outliers and like Malcolm Gladwell's books, because I've
Yes.
read Outliers and it was just, I remember how impactful that book was. So I was like, I really need to go back to that book and maybe check out other Malcolm Gladwell's books as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are, all of us here, those of you who are here commenting, coming to celebrate women who are leaders, not because they danced or they released the greatest song, which is all great, right? But not
It
because of that,
is.
but because of their leadership and community in
Mm,
creating impact in society, in revolutionizing the continent and how we perceive culture to be. You came here to celebrate those
mm.
women. You are an outlier and you're going to cause change in your communities. All right, final word on the folio. What should people expect when their hands handle the folio? Well, their digital hands handle the folio and their eyes. Ayonfe, can you just tell them what they can expect? 30 seconds.
One word. One thing you can expect is liberation. I think it's going to
Mm,
lift. You'll find that if there was anything holding you back, you will just feel like empowered to just run. I think that's what it did for me. It just kind of added fire to my step. And I
mm,
feel that's one thing I can promise will happen to you. You will definitely get fire for your step. If there's anything, I know we're at the end of the year and you're just like, I'm looking at what I've been trying to do. I feel coming in contact with this folio will just liberate you from any past things that you've kind of maybe felt guilty about or comparison or whatever. But it would definitely put fire in your step to move.
mm. True.
Wow. Carry on, Ugone. I will end with Boda.
Um, I would
When you saw that
say
finished work.
it's breathtaking to start with, like the look alone. But I would say to the people that they should expect a lot of light. Like you would see so much light. Even you will see yourself, and you will see
Mm.
your own in one of the stories. At least you will see, you can relate to it, at least one of the women. So expect light, expect like to see a lot more than you have ever seen, even with this folio.
I love it. Awesome. Bodam Taiwo, take it away. The people
I
I
would
told you every time you come out, they get confused. So when you started doing this, I was
yeah,
waving
stop
my
it.
hands, no one noticed. But then you did that, and people are like, I'm sorry, names.
Oh my gosh, really,
That's what we're here for. Okay, carry
but
on.
that is so. I think that's the first thing I'm going to say that's going to happen. You don't have to you don't have to sacrifice your looks just because you're going after purpose. That's the first thing.
Hmm.
Because each of these women, they all have their own different way of how they show up and how they look and how they talk and how they
Yes.
behave. And that
Yes.
just helps you settle in your own identity. The things that are important to you are important to you, and there's no apology about that. That's the first thing. The second thing I'll say is it gives you hope, a lot of
Mm.
hope. It
True.
gives you hope that where you are is not where you will always be. It gives you hope that your journey is going to birth something on the other side. It gives you hope that if you stick the course and put in the work, you will become, right? That's what it shows. And then the last thing I think is that it just gives you a possibility mindset. Nothing is impossible. I say this from
Nothing.
a place of if we had an hour or 5 hours, I would tell you my journey. And you don't need time.
Hmm.
You don't need 7 years to become. You don't need 100 years. You just
So
need truth.
true.
You just need wisdom. You need the right communities. You need the right resources. And you need to put in the work. Commit to yourself. That's what this will help you do. I'm going to get off now because by this, I mean, like you're tired.
Ooh,
Commit to
you guys feel
yourself.
the smoke in
Commit
here.
to the dreams that
I
you
can,
on your own
girl.
terms. Yeah, you can become. You can. You really can. That's what it's going to do for you, I believe.
And
That's
just watch
that's
all of
so
us. We
true.
came out like we were going to the Oscars. You can see the delectable
Yes.
Ion Fair with her little gold, thing, and then the resplendent Bodam Taiwo. And then just the naturally
That's right.
gorgeous. Ugone just came to tell us that beauty
Oh,
does not need
In her
acceptation.
sleep.
I'm telling you.
I was born this way. Okay, thank you all so much for joining and for sharing this. And
Thank
you guys tell
you.
me, based on what they've been saying, what are some things that stand out? What is your anticipation? What is your expectation? And I will share with you our folio. So hold on one moment and you'll be seeing it. Okay. And I'll have Miss DDK up for you soon here shortly. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. Okay.
Hmm.
Is that showing now? Okay. I was going to share a video, but I might not know just how. Okay. So DDK will be up next, and you guys have your questions ready, but you're really about to hear what this visionary, I mean, the first time DDK called us, and maybe that's what I should ask you guys. When DDK called you talking about the folio, like I don't even know what she saw, but I couldn't have sat down and just seen this by myself, not in a million years. But how she dreamt it, how she saw it, it was easy to use to fly,
I know.
right? Mama
She's such
DDK, how
a
are you?
vision. Yeah.
She's the 13th honoree, but just because was had to add a name. So all right.
No, they're just 12 honorees, well deserving. And I would spend good time just reading the folio so that I might be able to get in maybe next year or 3 years' time or something.
Honey.
You know, I'm going to sit with the folio enough so I can be inspired, and during the lessons that's made the women what they become.
Awesome. So great to have you on. We have some questions for you, DDK. And thank you, Bodam Taiwo, for joining us. Thank you, Gonne Ano Konkwo. And thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mrs. Ayonfe Egede.
Thank you.
It's been so much fun working with you. All right, DDK, are you ready?
I hope so.
Okay. So you've been talking a lot about the future forward female, right? You've talked about all of the pillars, you've talked about the wind finders, you've talked about so many things. But now today we're focused on this folio. How did this folio dream first of all come about? Like when you were thinking of the folio, were you also thinking of the curriculum like you currently have, the mastermind, and all the tenets that make the future forward female? What was the inspiration for this folio?
So to be honest, the story of my life is the story of just being carried on a journey, right? And everything continues to unveil as you follow that path, and you lean into the possibilities that are being awoken in your heart. And I feel like that's something that maybe God must find very special about me, because I just consider myself a vessel, a co-creator. And if God ever needs something to get into the earth realm, I don't have labels or profiles that help me fixate on a preference in terms of how I can be used. I'm just grateful to be useful. I'm grateful to be useful. So whether it's in healthcare tomorrow or energy next year or in politics in 3 years' time, here we go. I'm happy for it. But to be honest, the heart of the drive for the folio is born out of three things. Forgive me. On this three.
Please put Queen of Three in the chat. You guys already
Yes.
know your PDK.
The first is I've got this long-standing passion for celebrations. The celebration of human potential, the celebration of talent, the celebration of accomplishment, the celebration of distinguished performance. That's my own favorite thing in the world, to watch awards. I would always sit with awards since when I was young. It's still the thing I love. I will be there, getting into the minds of the awardees and feeling like, how are they feeling in this moment? That their hard work has been celebrated and commended. So there's always been that. And I know that we've really started to do much more with celebrating distinguished performance amongst women, but I had a different layer on top of that. The second big layer for me was the power of transferable wisdom. I didn't just want to celebrate women, visionary women of African descent, but I also wanted to find in that opportunity the privilege of converting that celebration into a tool that could be handed to other women, in a sense, democratizing a significant life, democratizing a significant life. Because just like you said, and Bodam said, and every other person said, it's just a few things that other women do differently, and it places them on the cutting edge. And if we all can get a sense of knowing that we're just 1, 2, 3 principles, habits, resources, and relationships away from really shifting our lives into greater significance, then, I mean, what a beautiful world it would be. What a beautiful world it would be. I don't want to, I don't want to climb the ladder onto the topmost floor and be lonely. That's not my dream. My dream is to be surrounded with my sisters, and I really hoped that I could create something for women that celebrated women, but also passed on the knowledge, the wisdom, the principles that change their lives, and really democratize that for others. And then the third is really taking ownership for what I believe is a defining part of how Africa is going to really become enthroned. One of the most significant ways to accelerate the continent's prosperity is to shine the light, to throw the spotlight on the good that is emerging from the continent. We've done very poorly with telling our best stories. And we're literally playing catch up now because the world has really retold our story in a way that benefits the West, for example. And we must now take responsibility for telling our own story and placing the spotlight on visionary women of African descent and the extraordinary work that they're doing, not just to impact the continent, but in many cases to impact the rest of the world. And so that is going to be something you guys can expect to see with my work over the course of this decade, and as God preserves us, the decades to come. I recognize my role as a gatekeeper for my generation, and I want to strengthen that position that throws the spotlight on the brilliance that exists in the world around us, especially amongst visionary women. Yes. So those things stirred my heart to say, if you are leading an army of extraordinary women, you can actually start from your own community and really let the world see, how can I have all these epic women? And when I started to read the folio, I was like, I know these people. Like, I personally know. What? What are you telling me? Like,
we have to get to what you just said, because these women, like, barring none, are phenomenal. Every time they open their mouths, it was not the wisdom they spoke. Anybody can Google wisdom. You can Google 5 quotes, put it together, and you sound very deep. You sound just like Oprah Winfrey. So these women had an authenticity and almost like a proof. They had proven the things that they were talking about. So how did you come upon phenomenal women all the way from someone as young as Aramide to someone as experienced as Miss Abby Longe? How did you go all the way from an industry maven like Joyce Awoshika all the way to a career executive changing the world like Bodam Taiwo? Tell me the spectrum of the people, almost like what was that thing you saw through all these women that made you say, these are the honorees of 2021?
Thank you for that question. By the way, babe, you asked the best questions. I don't know, like, I should even be asking myself, how did I meet Bralade? How do I
learned from the absolute best.
I love it. I love it so much. I can listen to you for an entire day. Something so good. That's a great question. And to be honest, selecting the 12 was actually tough. We started out actually seeking to launch the Future-Forward Female Movement this year. And then as we got into the first stage of the work, even the envisioning process, it became clear that this thing is bigger than what we're thinking it is. And we should just start to drip the different pillars within that whole movement. And I really want you guys to look forward to when we go live fully with the movement, April of 2022.
Guys, we are not live now, even.
No, we're just sort of warming
You guys
up.
are in for it.
You're warming up. Some really epic stuff are coming.
Wow.
Really, really great stuff. No kidding. Anyway, when we wanted to host the folio full blown and really have a nomination driven, honorary award type thing across 25. We have, I think, across 25 different future-forward female dimensions.
Woo!
Yeah, the 25 dimensions. And I love it. I love the light that came into my heart about the different prototypes that exist for what a future-forward female looks like. And just like you kept saying that the first miracle with the folio is the recognition that I don't have to be just this or that to be a visionary woman. It's a powerful thing. And so that's how we wanted to start or run it, but we saw it will take us at least 4 to 6 months if we're going to deliver excellently on it. But I said we still shouldn't close out this year. It's been a trigger year for a decade of destiny. Women, especially since 2020, have literally shifted the game for us. And so we get a chance, to honor them and then step into 2021 holding this coaching manual for how we can accelerate our own paths as well. And that is how we determine, let's have a selection, merit or meritorious selection as against public nomination. And that became difficult because I am surrounded by
some phenomenal
women. What? I'm surrounded by extremely bright women, to be honest. And I've coached some extremely visionary, powerful, committed, no audio. When you go through that folio, dip yourself in it, be immersed in, because for real, it's just a fragment of the miracles that women are birthing from the womb of the spirit, the womb of vision. So simple answer to that, or the shortest version of that answer would be, I looked primarily at my own community and selected based on merit women that I had documented proof concerning their impact, their next level leadership, their vision, and their capacity to, inspire other women with the great work they do.
Wow. Someone just put their seatbelt on, so we have not arrived. Every time you're with DDK, you need to be fully strapped in.
Yeah.
You need to be fully strapped in. You need to be ready. Just be like those
and
white.
Please let me add, we selected women primarily who were products of the Immersed success story. Please allow me to please
feel free.
Please permit me, because Bralade, we do breakthrough coaching work in Immersed Coaching Company. This is not some fluke, is not fluff, is rock solid substance. The challenge that we're faced with as a coaching practice is we need to do better with our PR, because what people know about us doesn't really measure up to the caliber of work that we put in. And women come through that breakthrough coaching methodology. In months, they flip over on the other side and they're shining as gold. So a lot of the women, a lot of the honorees are products of the Immersed success story, and it makes us a lot more proud, makes us prouder, to be building this kind of, catalytic.
What you said just now, the truth is that we had a series of questions we asked every honoree, and we had the Immersed question somewhere at the bottom. Guess what happened every single time, DDK? Before we got to the question to say, what's your Immersed story? We noticed that from the first response, they had already finished telling us their Immersed story. At some point, we're like, no, wait, we just want to hear about. They're like, no, transformation is possible when a woman encounters knowledge that basically that was the experience that we had. And when they told, I mean, look at someone like Budam Tai, who told her story from the beginning to the end, and you could just see those milestones in there. So tell me, what is this thing that you do with women? You called it a coaching practice. I call it a transformational community. It's almost like it's a visionary community. And I know we know what Immersed is, but what is that thing? What is that compelling vision? This is a question we would ask the honorees as well, of Immersed that you saw before we all came to know Immersed, and we're like, oh, I belong to this community. What did you see?
I'm going to keep it short. So let me try for three again, right? Let me try for three of the things that really caught my heart. The first is, I believe that I am on the mountain of belief systems, and I am in a warfare for souls. I believe that at the heart of my assignment is the demolishing of problematic paradigms and these unproductive belief systems and mindsets and subconscious conditioning. What I find, that discovery changed my life. The day that I discovered that to receive the kingdom, you have to repent. And to repent isn't to turn from your wrongdoing. To repent is to experience a radical departure from a current paradigm. And that all of Christ's assignment and mandate on the earth, everything that he required to unlock the future that God had for people, the God of the universe. Budam is the shortest version. If the God of the universe required the permission of the people before he could bring kingdom to them, before he could elevate their possibility, elevate their reality, elevate their civilization, elevate their inheritance, elevate their prosperity, if he required that the door opener into a higher, superior reality was a shift in thinking, because that word repent is metanoia. Repent is one of the most poorly treated word in Christian theology. Repent isn't change from your wrong ways. Repent is shift from the way you think, embrace a higher ideology, capture a paradigm different from, radically depart from your present stance, your mental stance, or your current attitude of the mind. My God, even God requires a shift in thinking before he can bring you into his very intentions for your life. What are you telling me? And then I started to see I got it. I was like, my whole life story, my challenges, my fears, my questions, my insecurities, everything that I was struggling with, I was just a thought away from liberty, a thought away from dominion. And I fought this battle of the mind and of mental attitudes and paradigms with all my heart, and I saw victory. The moment I caught that revelation, I entered year 2015 saying, never again. I've been in prison for so long, never again. Right? Started to read. I went through an arduous but very grace-filled journey of pulling down strongholds. And I literally came into a new lease of life, a new lease of bliss, even in my marriage. Everything around me started to shift when I took responsibility for demolishing the thoughts that didn't serve me. And from that point, I said, is this what it's going to take? Okay, send me. Let me go. Let me be the woman who births liberty for women. You see. And yeah, that's what I saw. I saw that women could step into prosperity, could step into next level leadership, women could be released from their own self-inflicted wounds and imprisonments of the soul, that they could have better marriages, be better parents, lead better corporations, right? If they simply were healed and they experienced paradigmic transformations.
Ooh,
So I said, let's go for it. Let's go for it. I want to be that woman. Send me. If my life is changing this way, boredom is always in my head.
yeah.
You don't even get this thing. Like, I'm saying that the moment I started to think differently about myself, without speaking, without changing my bio, opportunities that matched my paradigm started to come to me. How are you telling me that anybody should live any other way? I'm saying that the public perception that people had of me started to radically change from the moment my personal internal perception of myself changed. And this is what women are doing. They're listening to coaches who are showing them how to rebrand, how to recreate their websites, and how to have these fantastic bios and rework their LinkedIn profiles. But their bios, their profiles, and their recitations in their hearts have not changed. And nothing really changes until there is that paradigmic transformation. So that's me being on one, but I don't want you to eye me or send me out of here. So I'm just going to stop for now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're like, DDK has come. Someone was like, this is the DDK we know. She has come. She has arrived. What you don't know is that this DDK you see here, you know, I watched you at one of your platforms doing what you do best last week, which was Development Dialogue, Ideation Hub Africa, celebrating again. And if you guys don't know about the celebration pillar, you haven't done unbundling. And what are you waiting for? Why? Okay, so get yourself into unbundling, and you can see how you can start to serve in all of these facets without necessarily doing the conventional things that people do, right? And Didika, you were doing that, and I noticed that some of the people were even repeat honorees, but we're operating on another level. What are you expecting to see from these honorees? So even though they're not necessarily gracing the folio again, but who knows, right?
Who knows?
But what do you expect from these honorees? Already, I don't know if you were able to catch some people's 2030 audacious visions. Blow my mind. Look at someone like Joyce of Oriki talking about 5,000 Oriki stores in the continent. I'm like, I'm sorry, like my brain was trying to wrap around it. But she said it without a flinch.
Yes.
That's something that's caught a hold of someone. What are you expecting from these audacious women?
So, Bralade, to be honest, the first, to be honest, placing these honorees on the folio was also my chance to say thank you to them for becoming who they are becoming. I know that before the end, by 31st of December 2021, I'll have the folio in the hands of at least 20,000 women. I know that before we go live with the folio in 2022, it will already be in the hands of 100,000.
100,000, y'all hear that?
I know that.
100,000 in the chat.
And that is one of the things that I say about my role and my assignment. It gives me joy to put my people in the front lines. This is one of the miracles that also happened to me in 2015 as I really started to move into soul prosperity. I'm a significantly secure visionary. I don't see my assignment as merely a platform I stand on. I see my assignment creating multiple platforms for people who are deserving to be in the forefront, to be known. And the first thing that I see is this folio is a game changer for every honoree. There are going to be doors opened, opportunities, coming to them. There's going to be a greater public perception of their brilliant work. And they owe me in thousands of dollars, right? Kidding. But my point is, I expect, I believe with all my heart, I release my faith for it, that this folio is going to be a door opener for all my honorees, that they're going to be acclaimed for their thought leadership, and they're going to get into handshakes, conversations, funding opportunities all around the globe simply because they have been properly announced through the brilliance of the Future-Forward Female Folio. The second thing is I see them coming into a new degree of inspiration, a new degree of energy, positive energy, knowing that their work is not going unsung, unseen, because every visionary needs that. Every visionary needs that. Just the reminder that your work counts and that the diligence you're putting into the vision is worthy of commendation.
Okay.
And the thing about the folio is we're not just, look, the biggest honor is we aren't just giving a plaque to Abiola Dediron and putting her poster on social media. We are documenting her story. Bralade, the miracle in there is without the folio documenting your story, it's unlikely that you know the length and the breadth of your story.
So true.
So you take that folio back as a honoree and you're going to be like, what? Sorry? We helped you journal the future.
Ooh.
That's a big gift. That's a big gift. We pulled out of you and gave legitimate access on the earth realm to next level dimensions of thought and vision that have been roaming in your spirit, but you haven't documented. And until you document it, you can't territorize it. The third thing that I know 100% is going to happen. These women are going to break their own records. It will not take Joycey 2030 before she hits 5,000 franchises or franchise centers for Oriki in Africa. You would say that I said it. They will outdo themselves in a shorter time because they spoke from the recognition of what they've been shown. But I speak from a recognition of the God-propelling influence that is upon visionary women this decade. There are people who are listening to me right now who feel so far away from the possibilities that exist as far as the future-forward female dimensions are concerned. And you're saying, I haven't even caught a grip on self-governance. How much more you're telling me I will move into Mastery of Genius, I will move into Visionary Excellence, I will become an inventor, I will be a legacy leader, doors will open for me globally, I will be a first among equals, and I will be, I will birth the emancipation of Africa's destiny. How dare you say that? I'm saying to you that you are going to ride a wave that is unprecedented in this decade of destiny. Every 1 year will be as 10 years. Months will roll into accomplishments of many years. When you place your hands on things, it will be indeed as one who has placed his hand on gold. You will remember this moment. You will remember these days when we've been screaming on the rooftop that it's actually the decade of the visionary woman. All I'm asking of you is to refuse to continue to dump down and make everything about your life status and money, visas, gated estates, and handsome husbands. The moment you refuse to dump down to how society describes success, and you begin to lean into the God of the universe to start to say, what does customized success look like? What does it look like based on how I've been wired and the calling over me? What would it take to step into significance? As you begin to ask those important questions and you begin to lean into the right resources and you take yourself a lot more seriously, you make the right investments and you create a habitual system out of what you know can automate success in your life. There's no stopping you, literally. I'm saying that by the end of 2022, some of you are already going to be an astonishing surprise to yourselves.
Wow.
Already in 1 year. So I expect, Bralade, that they will outdo their highest expectations of what is possible to open up in the course of this decade.
Okay, we can take the grace. My word. No, but it's a whole thing. It's a whole word because I know personally from just listening to my friends' videos before I joined Immersed, just listening to those videos and being able to write, a big book in 6 weeks because of those
crazy
words
like that.
I heard.
Crazy
And
like that.
I know that there's acceleration in this thing, but this thing has gone exponential. There are many women's awards all over the globe. There are some even catering to women of African descent all over the world. how is this different? You said this is not a women's movement, this is a God movement. And encompassed even in the God movement is the women's movement, it's all of it. How is this different? How is this recognition different?
So that's a great question. And to be honest, the first thing is we are not trying to outdo anything. We're not even trying to create a special class of anything. We are women on a mission, true to a specific mandate, and right on a divinely defined lane, right? But I must still say to you that I find some things just really outstanding about the Future-Forward Female Folio. It's beyond the recognition of certain women. It is the democratizing of a life of significance. If you watch the awards and you're inspired by them, at the best, you would hear a 2-minute speech, 5-minute speech, and they'll be thankful for those who've contributed to their success and leave you a powerful philosophical two-liner. What they're saying is accurate, but is an abridged.
You don't even get the half.
You can't touch what that journey has been. I feel like maybe one of the things that also really moved me to create the folio, Bralade, is the biggest lessons I've learned have come from asking Mrs. A questions, Mrs. Adeno, and in just eating and gisting and sipping tea, she tells me her story. When I was in my 30s, like you, Debola, these are the things that happened. These are the steps that I took. And that's all I need to hear. I'm like, good, thank you. And the
I don't even need the 3 points.
Don't worry. Don't tell me the principles. Tell me the story. Don't worry. Especially because there's capacity in my soul. I am, you see, I'm a lit up soul. My soul is not inhibiting anger, criticism, hurt, irritation, comparison, jealousy, materialism. No. So there's space for wicked stuff to enter. So don't worry. Don't tell me. No, don't worry about the principle that do it. Like, no. Just be telling me a story. She'll be like, you're such a sponge. Just talk to me. Dr. Cindy Trim would ask me, what are you really looking for? She's trying to make the mentorship of great value to me. And I'm just like, don't, just talk to me. Let me just be watching you. I will take it off from there. I'm the child you can tell a quarter to become whole inside me. Right? I know this thing is powerful, Bralade. I know that there are people stepping into dimensions of wealth without even reading a book on wealth. I'm telling you. And this is the balance to coaching. I'm not merely going to tell you, catch that book, watch that seminar, join this webinar, attend this course, review in this community. I'm also going to tell you to lean into the stories of those whose today look like the future you desire by just staying around those stories. And it's coming into your heart. I'm telling you, it's almost what we call unconscious competence. Just a new dimension of how you produce in your life. Because when your soul hears it, you can never come back to original state.
Ooh, you have stretched past the last limit. This isn't just
plaques. Next year's folio has a whole ball celebration. It's likely we're in Joburg or somewhere in Nairobi.
Must be hearing.
Right? So it's bigger, and there's the whole glitterati part of it. And I love that. I'm here for that. And when I want to be pretty, I don't fall hands. When I'm ready to show up, I show up.
Space for it.
Right? But the folio is always going to be the keepsake for that young girl on campus. I met Bisola Longe when I was 17 years old. 17 years old. From that time, she spoke at the conference. I blocked afterwards. I was like, I want.
Yeah. So DDK met Ms. Bisola Longe at 17. And think about when someone takes you under their wings and starts to share their story with you. That's where transformation is. That's where transformation is. And I'm sure that they'll start sharing the, okay, you're back now. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so I met her at 17. And as I look back now, I say to myself, this, how do I say that? Mrs. Longa met me about the age that I am now. Started to mentor me about the age that I am now. And it feels like full circle to me. That is the biggest deal, Bralade, with the folio. It's not merely a celebration of those who are doing great work in a way that makes you like an outsider. I don't want anybody to hear of the awardees, the honorees, and feel like an outsider to success and significance. I don't want you to feel like you're excluded. Mrs. Longa didn't tell me a book to read. I just went everywhere with her. I just looked at her. I just listened to her. I wanted to be her, right? And that's powerful. Listen to her stories, and it changed everything. So I believe that is the biggest difference. The fact that beyond this great honorary experience, we hand you a keepsake coaching manual. And if you use it, if 1,000,000,000%, if you use it, when you start to win, you're going to be back to say, DDK, we want to sponsor 1,000 young women, and get them into your coaching program because it will change your life 100%.
Yeah, DDK, we'll be ending on this note, and a half. Someone now is listening. They can't wait to get their eyes on it. And once they leave here now, they're going to that folio. What kind of attitude do you want them to approach this folio with? And what do you want them to do with it? Many people here are some of your coaching clients, some members of the community. They're also a part of your army. So they're like, DDK, what are the marching orders? So what should they do with the folio as they interact with it? How should they interact with it? And what should they do beyond that?
I love it. You ask the best questions.
You answer the best answers. Imagine.
Thank you. I love you. Oh, gosh. I love you. Two things, right? I wanted to just say one, but it will be a disservice to the other thing. Attitude first is anticipation. Don't snigger. Do not be cynical. Cynicism is actually a response from the brokenness of our soul. And we all have unreached arenas of our soul, spaces where we have not been reached with belief, spaces we haven't been reached with sufficient faith. Maybe because you tried and you failed. Maybe because you are irritated by so much packaging in the world around us. Maybe because you failed enough and you feel like, it's impossible for people to have this kind of outrageous dimensions of success in their lives. But don't go with cynicism. Don't roll your eyes. Be open, be humble, have intellectual humility, be humble, be expectant. I'm going to go with, as I'm having my retreat, I'm going to be with End Your Year Strong by my mentor, Dr. Cindy Trim. I'm going to be with the Live Awake Conference 2021 resources. I'm going with the folio. I'm going to spread these things out over the course of 2 weeks in December, and I believe it will give me answers.
Absolutely.
So go that way, treasure it, and definitely sit with it, take notes, learn from it. Then the second thing is, from that point on that you receive it, be our ambassador. Make sure everyone in your community gets it. Go loud on it because it's worthy of, going loud on, and then begin to take action, okay? When we meet in January, for sure, we're going to have a lot to review on what the experience has been for you.
Oh, I love this. Can y'all? Okay, I just said, DDK, you are fire. Yeah, do not go with cynicism. I love this. The attitude is anticipation.
Yeah.
One of the anchor scriptures, because this is a God movement, and if you go and you go through unbond again, if you're going to be a visionary that endures.
I don't know, man.
It's blowing my mind. I have chills now thinking of all the visionaries, all the honorees that referred to unbundling, and the type of light Like, when something is so floodlit that nothing is hidden again, that's what happens to you, the level of clarity. So with unbundling the flow of light, right? And DDK talks to us about, walking with God in that. We've been praying about this, and he said that there's such an army, and that's you guys. It, like, all of you here, if you know how powerful you are, each one of you
Yes.
can reach 1,000. And my
Yes.
one commitment, I mean, my best friends are currently on this call right now, commenting right alongside you. Because why are we not going together? Why are we friends? Why are we sisters? Why are we not going together? Okay, they
Did you
missed
just
the
say your best
registration.
friends? That
Yeah.
was rude. Our best friends. How dare you? Excuse
We
you?
share best friends.
Better.
Okay.
What do you mean by that?
So they're right here because no, I don't want to be alone on the journey. I can't be learning alone. So you guys don't be learning alone. Have a book club around this folio. Talk about it on social
Yes.
media. And follow the future at Future-Forward Female _. We will
Follow
be telling
us.
you things to do with it.
Follow
As you
us.
encounter it, give us your most genuine as you are seeing it. I'm telling you, as we are seeing it, we're like, there's something. It's gorgeous and it's next level. There's innovation. It's like you've never
Yes.
seen before. I mean,
Yes.
DDK, we use some of the best top excellent people to work on it, but even they say we elevated the standard. So DDK, thank you. I don't even know how you constituted us as a team, but it was a dream team.
Yeah, I must thank everyone. Thank you.
I still for you. Woo!
I love it. Oh gosh.
Wow. Gosh. Oh gosh. Oh wow. Oh wow. Gosh.
Woo! I do love that.
Oh gosh. This is so precious. It's so precious. I'm extremely proud of you guys. Wow. Tell Buddha I'm looking with pride. Thank you so much for the great work done. Make sure you go grab your copy. And I mean, yes, go grab your copy and get everybody on board. 125 pages, I think, of just huge inspiration.
And I have to thank the wider team, DDK.
Yes,
for that
please.
team. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Because this thing you're seeing here is maybe is like 20% of all the things they said. And with
Yes.
DDK's special permission, we will either be getting this into a book or
we'll get into a book.
we will
Yes,
have
yes,
the
yes.
videos, one or the other. It is so good. It is so good. And it is a way, I mean, many times we have videos and you can't really forward to someone, but when this can fit in any community you have. All right, Bodan Taiwo, tell me how you feel in this moment. On behalf of all the honorees.
It's a precious moment. It really is. It just brings, I don't know, it just brings everything to the fore. And you know what DDK was saying earlier on when she mentioned how um, it gives credence to the fact that your journey is being seen. You don't really do it to be seen, but it just gives credence to the fact that you're on a journey, and it makes sense because some days you will question, isn't it? And you'll be like, this thing I'm on, am I sure? Am I sure? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just looking at it, and my heart honestly is filled with a lot of gratitude and a lot of love and a lot of excitement. for the possibilities that lie ahead.
Yes.
At the moment when I saw the thing starting, I almost was like, oh my gosh, where is my tissue? Because I wanted to start getting, I say, hey, but after all the mascara you've put on here, stop it. But I'm really joyful. I really am.
You guys know how hard it is to make Bodam Taiwo speechless, right? From when she came on here, have you noticed the seriousness? There's a calm that's come upon her spirit. And now DDK took it several notches up. Where do we start? Miss Ayonfe is looking to join. If you can add Ayonfe, and then we'll just dance
I
out.
can't see
Thank
her.
you all. Oh, you can't?
I need her
Okay.
back. Oh yeah, I can see her.
Ayonfe, are you up? It's 10 p.m. and it's 3 p.m. in
It's 1 a.m., it's 2
Houston.
a.m., it's 5.
Oh wow! Thank
What
you
a
guys
joy.
so much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. I feel permanently indebted. If I was paying you guys every year for a decade, it still won't be enough. Thank you, Brala Day. And you took on this project at a time when it made no sense for you to take it on. Well, you said, DDK, just send me. Don't bother, don't question, just send me. And you hounded me down till I did. Thank you. I feel so proud of you. Truly, you brought this to life. It's your baby. I handed you a raw script, a Word document, and see what you've done. My God. My God. And I abandoned you guys. I'm like, I don't know if you noticed, but get off and do it. I don't know. Thank you so much. Ayonfe, thank you. Ayonfe, like you are your name to me. You've been a source of love and encouragement. You've been a friend of my heart. And to see you bring your expertise as a marketing director into the work, it's just, I wish I was active in the team so I could have learned from you. But the kind of feedback you give me about my marketing, hopefully, somehow I'm still learning. And I'm super proud of all the great work that you put in here. Thank you, Lady Bodam, my LBT. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And yes, it took a great degree of commitment. I had someone asking me, okay, what's your goal? Like, I see Bodam in everything. Like, what's the plan? Are you trying to drain? I'm like, no, that's how sisters do. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. And thank you, Gonne. Thank you so much. From unbundling days to mastermind, it's just always a joy having you a part of my vision, And I love how our sisterhood is growing. What makes it more exciting is we have such a drama-free zone. Everyone is powerful in their own way. But when we come together, we just make wonders happen. Nobody's feeling like they're better than the other. It's precious. Many women don't have that. It's a joy. I feel so proud that this is my own family. Like, it is sweet me. But just to let you know, I'm truly thankful. You know that I will start talking and I'll go on and on. So get me out of here. Make me keep quiet. Thank you. I love you. God bless you.
I need to shout out Oluwakemi.
Yes.
Yes. All these are Kemis.
Yes.
Wow. And then Yola, you guys all seem phenomenal. As for the other litany of right now we have 10,000 words we need to cut it down to 2,000. It was the hardest thing ever. And we see you honorees in the chat. You guys, your wisdom is too much. That's why we don't know what to leave, what not to leave. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you so much, DDK. And it's a wrap till 2022. But now we just started. If you want to be a part of this team, you're already a part. We signed you up. So just keep spreading this word, sharing our posts. Someone please put it in the chat. You can follow us on Instagram at Future-Forward Female Folio. No, Future-Forward Female _ That's it. And DM us, tag us, use the hashtag. Just go wild with us. We're loving this.
Someone is asking, when are we going to get personal copies? Hey, it's right here. Look at that. Just go to immerseinnercircle.com/folio and you will have access. I'll send
And
it in an
then,
email to you tomorrow again,
yeah,
obviously.
and then
Yeah.
someone said, where can they purchase? And I want you to know that this folio did cost money, several monies, several and several and several, because the people that worked on it, they
Yeah.
did not, it was not a ministry. So I want you guys to say a special thank you to DBK. It's one thing for you to come up with a product and marketing, and it's one thing for you to come up with an assignment, a
Yeah.
vessel of God to the world. And
Mm.
yeah, you deserve our thanks. Thank you, DDK. You have the
Thank
best
you.
project, and it's always a
Thank
delight
you.
working with
Thank
you.
you.
Till
Yes.
2022 in Joburg.
Yes. Buy your tickets.
Yes.
The marketing girl. All right,
Buy
we'll
your
leave it there.
Love
Well, are
you.
you giving us
I'm
music? Are we gonna dance? Are we just ending it
Yes,
on
we
a
have
Well,
some
music?
music
give us music.
nowadays.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
want
I
to
have
dance.
this T.Y. Bello song is so on
Give
point.
it to us again.
I love that
Yes.
song.
Yes.
Are.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Yes. Get out of the way
Get
because
out
we
of the
are
way, man. Yes.
I'm part of this.
Wow.
carry the sound everywhere.
Everywhere.
The future is
Everywhere.
here. We are not waiting again. We are
Everywhere.
coming here.
Before the time.
Oh, the future is here. The
The
future is
future
here.
is here.
Yes.
Good night from
Good
Nigeria.
Thank you
night.
so much, Didi
Thank you
K.
so
Love
much,
you.
DK. Thank you, Future-Forward
From
Females, for
China.
coming to the chat.